I'm not going to lie to you, of Calgary. It was not my favorite place I've ever been. But also, I was there in a really hard time of winter, and I was on Fargo, and I loved shooting Fargo so much, but it was all outside, and it was outside during the winter time. And I grew up in the South where it's warm. I lived in Southern California where it's warm. The first time I ever saw big snow, I flew to Montreal. Montreal is awesome, by the way. Definitely top 10. First time I ever flew to Montreal, it snowed 3 feet the next day. And I'd never seen that before. I didn't know what to do with it. And I had this scene where there was a camera on a crane, and I had to walk across this pristine, snowy field. And I started walking, and I walked, and I was walking like this, and one of my legs slipped through the snow, like that, and just got caught, and I was struggling to get myself up, and all of a sudden, all these people start screaming at me and running this way, and this guy had this big pole he brought over, and here's what I didn't know about snow. When it snows that deep, the drifts can fill in big holes, and there was a drift with nothing underneath it that dropped down about 10 feet. It came over, tapped it, and it all fell down. I don't like snow, but I like Montreal. I saw some crazy things there that I can't tell you on this panel. I love them because Quebec are interesting because they want us to see from Canada, so they don't believe they're Canadian, but the French think they're rednecks. So it's a hard place to be, and I sort of get that. I totally get that. Because it's like how English people think of Americans. I lived in England for 7 years, and you know how when we were making fun of somebody, we do this, and then he said, well, I don't know nothing about that. You know what I mean? We do sort of like make a joke of somebody's regional accent to make them sound stupid. I went to see Les Mis when I first moved there, and I don't like musicals. I don't know why I did that. But I went to see Les Mis, and I was by myself, and it was cheap and something to do, and a proper British lady and her mother were in front of me, and she's like, hey, you know Marshall. Then you said this. She said, oh, are you going to eat that? In a perfect American accent, and I was like, oh, I don't think we're done. But also, London is one of my favorite cities in the world. I love London. I lived there for 7 years. Barcelona is amazing. I lived in New Orleans for 3 years, and I survived it. And I think I deserve some award for that. I had such a good time in New Orleans. I went down one year so Peyton Manning could teach me how to throw a football on Craig Ferguson's late night talk show. It was hilarious. But I got a Super Bowl ticket for it, and then that night I won $3,000 in video poker at a bar called Sneaky Pete's, and if Sneaky Pete's owes you $1, you can't leave. And so they could only bring me $1,000, and I had to stay there for 12 hours to the bank until the person that runs the bank account, they knew he would be up and could go. And then I won another $1,000 during it. I went on a tear. I spent all but $750 of it. I felt so sick I had to sell my Super Bowl ticket and leave town. And I'm still alive. And I knew living there after the show ended was not good for me because all my friends were in nightlife. They're all bartenders and servers, and everybody had the door code to my building. So you could see if my light was on from the porch of the bar, and if my lights were on, I'm outside around the dark. They could see if I was home, and then they would just get up to my door and knock on it until I answered it. And when my job ended there, I had nowhere to be, so it was very hard. But the city is wonderful, and now all these years later, I'm actively working to save so I can buy a house there. Because I love it so much. New Orleans, Vancouver's beautiful in the summertime, but in the winter you feel like you got off the train in Kurt Cobain's mind. It's so depressing. It's so awful. When I lived in England, half of my student loan debt was going to Spain. Like, I'm really affected by rain and darkness. I get depressed every year during daylight savings time, which we voted to stop. I don't know why we keep doing it. Yeah. Paris is awesome. I don't know, I find something special in almost every place, but the best thing about it is, and I think this is what Richard Spade was talking about, is that I leave people everywhere I go. Like, I wind up making a new friend almost every place that I spend any sort of meaningful time in. And so the hard thing about that is when the job ends, I have to uproot myself and I leave a normal life behind. And then I have all these relationships that I have. It's my responsibility to service. And when Man in the High Castle ended in 2019, I moved back to LA, and I like my friends there, but I don't feel the same as I did to all those other friend groups. And I'm wondering if something broke in me. Do you know what I mean? You've gotten to a place in life where you're so full of people that you don't see that you ache for. I fall in love with my friends. It's one of the reasons why I'm not getting married. That, and I think I would be dead in 2 hours. I think somebody would murder me. I'm the kind of person that after 10 years, it would be on the news that, well, I told him if you crunch one more pita chip, I was going to kill him. I'm that person. But so many places, and that's the thing, I can't answer your question because so many places have so many good things and so many awesome people, and I meet a lot of them. And it's really, really cool. I love this job because of that. What's your, Katie, what's your